Greetings everybody, Okami Games Online. Welcome back to more Persona Q, Shadow of the Labyrinth. Last time, we finished up, well, we made our way to the very end of the clock tower. And in this episode, we're going to head into the Velvet Room, and we're going to go through all of the personas that you may obtain. It's at 98% because, as I said before, there are some that are unobtainable in your first playthrough. So I'm just going to scroll through these as like a bit of a checklist. They are sorted by Arcana, so Fool, first Fool, then Magician, then Priestess, so on and so forth. So I'm going to scroll through each of these, so you might be able to use it as a checklist of sorts. While scrolling through these, some tips for fusing. This is probably the one point in the game where you must pay attention to the Arcana. So like Magician, Fool, so on and so forth. And the way it works, basically, is Fool plus Fool will be a Fool persona, for example, and it will always be a Fool persona. Or say you combine a Magician persona and an Empress persona, then whatever Arcana is the result of that, like, say, for example, hypothetically speaking, Magician plus Empress is, I don't know, Chariot. I'm not sure what it actually is, but hypothetically speaking, then in which case Magician plus Empress will always equal Chariot. At least this is for normal fusion. There's some specific rules for a triangle fusion, and if you look in the description, you can basically see a fusion chart with the rules of how a triangle fusion works, as well as a fusion chart, like a chart showing a fusion for like what Arcana is going to be as a result if you combine these Arcanas, basically. The triangle spread's basically more complicated is what I'm getting at. There are also some personas where you have to use a specific fusion combination, or like you have to fuse specific personas in order to be able to fuse. One example of this is Ardha, which is a judgment persona. You have to combine Parvati and Shiva to get Ardha. There's other personas like this, like, say for example, Michael, Norn. There are some others, but that's the general idea. There are probably some sources to find out what these are, because I don't remember all of them off the top of my head. So, that is unfortunate, but at least I found a fusion chart for you guys, so that way, if you try to fuse all the personas yourself, well, at least you'll not have as much of a problem. I can't talk. Going into dungeons is also nice because you can get more personas, which is what I went on about how I needed fusion material. That's what I was talking about. Other thing that might help you is the four DLC personas: Magatsu Izanagi, Thanatos, Kaguya, and Orpheus Telos. They could help for some fusion material, since the first time you summon them, you'll be able to summon them for free. So that's another thing to keep in mind. And I think that's the majority of the details that I need to give you as far as like what it takes to fuse a persona. There aren't any other like special. The only other special thing that you need to do is like a specific quest. It's not like, oh, if they need to be able to learn this specific move in order for you to get this persona or anything like that. No, this isn't Pokemon. The only case of being binded from being able to fuse a certain persona is one of two things. Either you're not high enough level, or you need to complete a specific quest. That's basically what it is, if you can't fuse a persona that you're trying to. Some personas will take a lot of trial and error in order to fuse, namely the special ones. But once again, there are sources online, and you should be able to locate them. But for the most part, you can probably just keep buying. If you have enough money, you can just buy random personas and see what you can fuse through fusion search. Excuse me, I can't talk. It is a bit complicated, but hopefully you'll get the idea of it pretty soon. So, I think that's about all you're going to hear from me. And let's let the rest of these personas to show off. that's all the personas. I know this video wasn't much, but it's more so of a checklist
I
for
will see you again.
completion. Mainly that. So, with that out of the way, this is a very brief video and I apologize for that, but it's just for the sake of completion. So, next time on Persona Q Shadow of the Labyrinth, it's gonna be time, at long last. We're gonna put this to an end. See you guys then.